Investing offshore as a South African comes with exciting opportunities, but it also introduces the dynamic element of currency fluctuations. The rand's movement against major global currencies, like the US dollar, can significantly impact your investment returns. So how do you navigate these currency waves and protect your offshore investments? Let's explore some key strategies. Firstly, it's crucial to understand the impact of currency movements. A weakening rand against the dollar, for example, can boost the rand's value of your dollar-denominated investments when you eventually convert them back. Conversely, the strengthening rand can erode those returns. This inherent volatility is something every South African offshore investor needs to be aware of and plan for. Over time, one reason the rand tends to weaken against major currencies like the US dollar comes down to a principle called purchasing power parity. This economic concept suggests that in the long run, exchange rates should adjust so that the same goods cost the same in different countries when measured in a common currency. For example, if a basket of goods cost 100 Rand in South Africa and $10 in the US, purchasing power parity suggests the exchange rate should be 10 Rand to the dollar. If the actual rate is 15 Rand to the dollar, the rand is seen as undervalued relative to the dollar. A key driver of these adjustments is inflation. If South Africa experiences higher inflation than the United States year after year, the costs of goods and services rises faster here in South Africa than in the US. As a result, the rand loses purchasing power more quickly. To keep the relative value of goods in balance, the exchange rate needs to shift, meaning the rand weakens against the dollar over time. A fun and relatable way to visualize this is through the Big Mac Index published by The Economist. It compares the price of a Big Mac in different countries, assuming it represents a standardized product globally. If a Big Mac costs significantly less in South Africa than in the US after converting to dollars, it suggests the rand is undervalued. And historically, that's often been the case, pointing to long-standing inflation differences and other economic dynamics. While not a perfect measure, the Big Mac Index helps illustrate the broad trend when inflation in South Africa outpaces that in more developed economies. Our currency tends to lose value. Understanding this pattern is key for South Africans planning to invest offshore. Another fundamental strategy to navigate currency risk is diversification, not across asset classes, but across currencies. While the US dollar is often a primary offshore currency for South Africans, consider diversifying into other stable currencies like the euro or the British pound. Holding assets in different currencies can help cushion your portfolio against significant movements in any single currency pair. Finally, remember the power of a long-term investment horizon. While short-term currency fluctuations can be unpredictable, over the long run, the impact of these swings tends to even out. It's also important to remember that while political factors in South Africa might be perceived as drivers of rand weakness, the primary motivation for offshore investing should be to access the diverse growth opportunities and different economic cycles available in global markets, rather than solely trying to avoid local political volatility. Focus on the underlying fundamentals of your offshore investments and avoid making rash decisions based on short-term currency volatility or political sentiment. Navigating currency fluctuations driven by factors like inflation differentials and purchasing power parity, as we've discussed, is an integral part of offshore investing for South Africans. By understanding the impact, diversifying your currency exposure, and maintaining a long-term perspective, you can better manage this dynamic element. If you're feeling uncertain about how currency movements might affect your specific offshore investments or how to implement these strategies effectively, consulting a financial planning professional can provide personalized guidance tailored to your individual circumstances, including your investment needs and long-term goals. Don't let currency fluctuations deter you from the potential benefits of global diversification. By being informed and proactive, you can navigate these currency waves with greater confidence.